Hello everyone, my name is Otavio and this is the Galilean Library. Welcome. Today I'm going to be doing a tag for you. It's the Stories and Tales tag. And I wasn't tagged for this. I'm really new. I don't even know. I'm not really sure how tag works, to be fair. But I saw this video on the Librarian Fan Mail and it was really interesting. I love that channel, so I'm gonna link that down below. The original channel, the creator of this video, I couldn't find. Well, I mean, I found the link for it, but the video was marked as private for some reason, so I don't know how useful it would be to link it for you guys. But her name was Chelsey, so if you guys know of which channel I'm talking about, just send me a link and I'll update the description. It's basically a list of 6 books, and you have to tell a story about each one of them. And the first one is a book that made you cry. And for me, that was really hard because I don't usually cry when when I'm reading. This one was basically first because the book is really sad, and second because I was in a very vulnerable position in my life. So both things together just coupled to make something that developed into tears everywhere. And the book is Push by Sapphire, and a lot of you guys probably heard about this. It's the book that was adapted into the movie Precious. I don't know why they changed the titles, probably more commercially viable to use that title over the original one, but it's a really good book and it's really sad, and it's very interesting to see the main character's development. It's kind of written in a journal sort of format, so it's very interesting to see her developing her writing abilities, because it's about her not having education and being in these terrible conditions in Harlem, and it's very inspiring and I recommend it a lot. The second book is a book that made you laugh out loud, and I don't actually have that one with me because I listened to it on Audible, and that is Bossypants by Tina Fey, and it's so hilarious. It's fantastic. I love Tina Fey, so that one was an easy pick for me whenever I was trying to find something funny to listen to. And I would really recommend it to anyone who anyone who likes Saturday Night Live or 30 Rock. It's really good. And I have a funny story about it. I was on the subway here in New York, and I was listening to it, and she said something. I don't even remember what it was, but it was so funny. I cracked out laughing in the middle of the subway. People started staring at me, and they just dismissed me as some crazy person on the subway, as you do. And anyway, it was really cool and a really nice book. Also a good one, and one that I recommend. It's one of my favorites. Next one is a book that you stayed up late to read, and that is The Final Empire by Brandon Sanderson. I love that series. I love the Mistborn series, and I also don't have the physical copy here. I have the last book with me to show you guys. But it was really interesting. I was on vacation and I just had a lot of time in my hands, so I just stayed like in the corner of my bed reading it for hours and hours and hours, and it was really good. I got into it, and that's probably the reason why I love it so much, because I got into the first one so quickly and so thoroughly, and I read that on Kindle. That's why I don't have the physical copy. I recommend that one as well. The fourth item on my list here is a book you read with someone, and I also don't have the copy. And the book is Sophie's World by Jostein Gaarder, and I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. It's a book about this girl who learns philosophy, and in turn the reader also learns philosophy with her. So it's very interesting. I read this with my grandmother a few years before she died, and it's a really nice memory to have of us reading it together, and she trying to explain to me things that I hadn't understood about the book. And I really, really love that one. I understand there's some problems with it in terms of it being a novel, because it's not really that entertaining if you're not into philosophy, and it's more of a children's book and an educational book, but it's also still one of my favorites, even if I do acknowledge there are problems with it, because of the experience that I had with it. It was so fun and so rewarding. Next book on my list is a book that I have given someone, and this is Good Omens by Terry Pratchett and Neil Gaiman. I haven't read this one yet, but I gave it to my partner, and he's a composer, and he was looking for a book that would be good as a musical to try and adapt and create a workshop for. And this one was just like popped in my head because it's so funny. It would be a good subject to be on Broadway, I think, or on musicals in general. And if you guys are interested, just read it. I bought 2 copies, one for me, one for him, so we can read it together. It's probably gonna happen really soon. The next book is a book that has an inscription for you or for someone else. And this is my partner gave me on my birthday recently, which is The Wicked Grimoire. It's basically the production book for the Broadway musical. There's a lot of cool stories about the production, and there's the music sheets and a lot of cool stuff, pictures of the characters, and it's really cool. And my partner worked with the composer for this, Stephen Schwartz, and he got him to write this inscription for me. To Ottavio, Stephen Schwartz. Very simple, but really, really cool. So, because I love this musical, I love Wicked and The Wizard of Oz, and it was the best present ever. Next one is a book that you will never get rid of, and had I not lost Sophie's World, which I lost on my move from Brazil to New York a couple of years ago, that would have been the one. I would never get rid of it. But since I have lost it, I chose Animal Farm by George Orwell, and this one I'm never getting rid of because when I got my first job, my first paycheck, this was the first thing I bought. Literally the first thing I bought. I didn't buy anything else before I bought this. And it means a lot because of that. I also love the book. I mean, who wouldn't? And it's getting older with me, which is really fun to see. It has like bleaches and marks on the pages, so it's nice. The last one is a book you've never talked about on your channel. And that's not very hard since this is my second video, even though I talked about a lot of books in these 2 videos. And since this was open to whatever, I chose a book that I don't really like that much because all the other ones I like, so I wanted you guys to see the stuff I don't as well. This one is A Discovery of Witches by Deborah Harkness, and I mean, it talks about witches. There's old manuscripts and the Bodleian Library, which was my inspiration for the name of my channel, and I mean, it has everything in it to make me love this book. I love witches, I love that sort of story, but then there was insta-love of the witch who was powerful and like a very independent woman, then suddenly becomes this wimp who needs her man for everything, so I just couldn't really connect with the characters at all. I just don't understand it. I just don't understand the insta-love, and that was basically a killer for me. I actually got as a present the sequel in the trilogy, Shadow of Night. I don't know if I'm gonna read it. I didn't like the first one. I gave it 3 stars, even though I probably should have given it less since I didn't like it that much at all. If there wasn't the insta-love, maybe I would have really liked it, but there was. And maybe I'll read this, maybe not, we'll see. If I do, you guys will know, and if I hate it, you guys will know as well. And that's it for my second video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please click subscribe and click the like button, and I see you around. Ciao!